Alright, how's everybody doing today? Back again with another video for you guys and gals. And today, what I have for everyone is my full review of the MIFA A10 Bluetooth speaker. So, real quickly before we jump into this, let me just give everybody a quick rundown of how my review process works, just so you know. Now, typically what I do is I shoot my unboxing and first impressions video, and once I feel like I got a handle on everything I want to talk about and cover with you guys and gals, then it's full review time. So that's how my overall process works. So, without further ado, let's jump into this full review. Now, starting off, the first thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals is the overall build quality and design of the speaker itself. Now, from a build quality and design standpoint, I have to say, MIFA, you guys have done a great job. There's no rattling or creaking of any kind, and the speaker itself feels very solid and actually has a very nice weight in the hands, and all of the buttons give me a nice tactile and clicky feedback. Now, I don't know how well you're going to hear that. Let me hold this up to the mic. Hear how clicky that is? So everything in regards to the overall build quality and design is top notch. So great job there in that aspect. Next thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals is the overall core features of the speaker itself. Now I'll have demonstrations of all the features that I talk about in this video clipped on to the end of the video. And also, if the video runs long, I will timestamp the whole video so you guys and gals can feel free to jump around to the portions of the video that you would like to know more about. Okay? So keep that in mind. So now let's talk about these core features. Core feature number one, and probably to me one of the most important ones, is that this Bluetooth speaker incorporates Bluetooth 4.2 technology in it, because we trying to live that hashtag wireless lifestyle, hashtag no cables. Y'all know what it is. Core feature number two, and a really nice touch, is that this speaker incorporates IP45 water and dust resistance. So that means it's waterproof and it's more like splash resistant. So that's not a full submersion rating, but it is splash resistant. So if you take it out in the rain, it should be okay. If it gets a little bit of water splash on it, it should be okay. But you don't want to fully submerge the speaker. It's not rated for that. Okay, for full submersion on speakers, you need something like IPX7 or better. So IP45, that's not it. Man, these water resistance ratings is a mouthful. But it still is a nice feature to have. The next feature that I like on this is that this bad boy does incorporate a micro SD card slot, and you can listen to music independently on the speaker straight from the micro SD card slot, and it also incorporates a 3.5 millimeter aux jack, so you can go hardline and wire up any device that you want to this. So you can wire it to a speaker or a computer rather. You can wire it to your smart devices, so on and so forth. So really, really nice touch when we talk about the feature set. Okay. Other than that, you do have a built-in mic, so you can make and receive phone calls, and this device does support dual pairing functionality. Now, it's not the typical dual pairing functionality that I talk about, so you can't pair this device to two devices at one time, but you can pair this device up to another speaker. Now, if you get two of these, then you can pair up both those speakers and have some really good sound. Now, I have the steps to dual pair two of these speakers linked up down below in the video description, because I've done the similar steps with the Omega M6 that y'all see in the background of the video. So the steps are the same. I'll link that down below in the video description. Alright, so overall, I believe that pretty much goes over the entire feature set. And in terms of the feature set, I actually feel that the features packed into the speaker are quite nice. But before we move on, I do have to point out one downside to the speaker in regards to the feature set. Now, all those cool features that I talked about, so the aux jack, the micro SD card, all that good stuff, that does require power. So this is yet another one of those speakers that will require power even if you want to hardwire your devices. Now that is a downside because one of the core reasons why you would hardwire your device to a speaker is if the battery was dead. You know, that's one of the neat things about headphones and speakers that have a 3.5mm aux jack. If the battery dies, we hope that you can still use the aux jack without needing power. Sadly, that is not the case here. You do need power if you want to use the aux jack connection or the micro SD card slot. So that is a downside to the overall feature set that I just wanted to point out. Okay? Other than that, I do believe that goes over all of the core features of this speaker. Now let's keep it moving. The next thing I want to talk about now with you guys and gals is the overall sound quality, volume, and the bass. Now I'll give y'all a audio demonstration a little bit later on in the video after we go over the steps to pair, but I just want to share my opinions with you guys here before we get to that. Now, talking about the speaker in terms of the overall sound quality, I have to say that it is really, really good once you get it at a decent volume level. Okay, about 25 to 50 is kind of quiet. 50 and up is a decent volume. 75% it does come alive. 100% it sounds almost perfect with a little bit of distortion on the top end depending on what you're listening to. So that being said, in regards to the overall sound quality, I have to say that this speaker is pretty good. Not the best, but pretty good. Now, in regards to the overall volume, I have to say that the volume on this speaker is pretty good as well, with only a little bit of distortion at the high end or at maximum volumes. But I have to tell you guys, the volume on the speaker is really, really good. And in terms of the bass, now the bass only really comes alive at about 75% and up. But once the bass kicks in, boy, the speaker puts a smile to my face. Whew, man. So you get some really, really good bass on this speaker here. Alright, so recap. The overall sound quality, good. The overall volume, good. The overall bass, really good. And just as long as you get to that appropriate volume. Keep in mind, for the bass, it's 75% or better. If you want some really good sound, it's 50% or better. Alright, so that covers the overall sound quality, volume, and the bass. Now let's take a second to talk about the overall mic quality of the microphone incorporated into this speaker. Now, mic quality wise, I have to say this speaker is really, really good. Now, I've taken a bunch of phone calls, I've dictated a bunch of commands with my different smart devices, and I didn't have any issues with the onboard mics on this speaker. And, you know, actually taking phone calls, callers on the other end couldn't differentiate between the speaker, the microphone on the speaker and the receiver on my smart device. So that's really, really good. Okay, so the overall mic quality on this speaker is really, really good. Next now, let's go over the steps to pair. Okay, now these steps to pair that I'm getting ready to go over are pretty much universal across any platform and any device. They do look differently depending on the platform or OS that you're using, but the steps themselves are the same. They just look different. So the steps that I'm going to go over today using Android will work on iOS, will work on Windows and other Android devices, computers, tablets, so on and so forth. They just look different depending on what you're doing, what you're using. That being said, the first thing that you want to do here is power on the Bluetooth speaker by pressing and holding the power button here. You'll get a nice audible tone, and then it'll automatically go into pairing mode. So let's do that here. Alright, there's your audible tone, and then that lets you know that it's in pairing mode. And then you see a white flashing LED. That means the speaker is ready to pair. Now, back on your smart device or any device with Bluetooth connectivity rather, the first thing you want to do is power on your device. Then you want to navigate to the Bluetooth settings and turn on Bluetooth. Now, in the interest of speed, I've already done that. So that's what you see right here. Alright, now another thing that I want to point out is that, okay, it tried to connect already and we're not trying to do that. Alright, another thing that I want to point out is that it looks a little bit different on older Android versions. Now on older versions, when you go into Bluetooth, it will start scanning right away. On the newer version of Android 9.0 or better, you have to click on pair a new device and then it'll start scanning, okay? So once you do that, once you have it scanning, you should be good to go. Now on older devices, if it doesn't start scanning right away, there will be a 3-dot hamburger menu in the top right hand corner here. You want to tap on that and you want to click rescan, and then once it starts scanning, you want to look for this right here. So this is the model number of the speaker. It's MIFA A10. We want to tap on that to begin the pairing process. Okay, it's going to take a few seconds. And once this pairs up, you're going to get a nice little audible tone letting you know that the speaker is paired to your device. Also, along with that, the flashing white LED will go solid. This is also another visual representation that the speaker is paired to your device. Alright, and that pretty much goes over the overall pairing steps for the MIFA A10 Bluetooth speaker. Alright, so now what I want to do is I just want to cue up some music here so y'all can hear how the speaker sounds. Now, in the interest of speed, yet again, I've already got some music queued up here. Alright, and now I just want to test the speaker at 50% volume and 100% volume. Now, the first thing I always do is physically max out the speaker. So once you hear that beep, that means that the speaker is physically maxed out. Then now I want to set it to 50% volume. Alright, so let's do that. Alright, so right about there, 50% volume. And then we're going to test it here for a few seconds. And then I'm going to put it at 75% volume and we're going to test it again. Alright, so now I'm going to let y'all enjoy this real quick clip and let me know what you think. And as always, all the links to all the music that I feature in my videos will be linked up down below in the video description. And I always try to use copyright-free music. Alright, so if you're interested in the music that I feature in my videos, that will always be linked up down below in the video description. Anyway, that's enough talk. Let's get this test started. Let me angle up the mic here, and let's push play. Okay. Alright, so that was 50% volume. Now let's take it up to 75% volume. And you're going to notice a noticeable difference here, so let's set this up. Alright, so if that's 100, then 75 will be right here. So 75% volume, and let's go. And let's push play. That bass got the table shaking. Apologize if y'all see the camera shaking a little bit. That's how you know when you got some good bass, man. When you can hear it and you can feel it and stuff start moving, that's how you know bass is good. So yeah, alright, let me calm down. Whew, okay, alright. So that was a real quick sound demonstration for you guys and gals. Now, let's keep it moving. Up next now, the next thing I want to talk about, and let's go ahead and turn this off to save power. Alright, and we're done with this. So we can take that out. Next thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals now is the overall Bluetooth range and the overall Bluetooth strength. Alright, now if I make a mistake here, I'll go ahead and throw up the correction in post so y'all know exactly the correct information. But in the user manual, I believe the quoted range is 10 meters or 33 feet. And as long as you're within that designated range, you shouldn't have any issues. And I'm very happy to report that in regards to the Bluetooth range and strength, as long as I was within that designated 10 meters or 33 feet, I didn't have any problems. So the overall Bluetooth range and strength is top notch. Now, as I always say, if you are in areas with a lot of interference, then you may want to consider using the wired connection here so you cut down on those interference issues. But at least in my opinion, in regards to the overall range and strength, it was pretty good and I didn't have any problems. So top notch marks when it comes to that area of this speaker. Next thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals now is the overall durability of this Bluetooth speaker here. Now, durability wise, I have to say I am a very clumsy individual, but I did my best not to drop this speaker as much. Now, in terms of the overall durability, I have to say this speaker did a great job. Now, I actually only dropped it about 2 to 3 times, and as you can see, it still looks and functions as if brand new. So no dings, dents, or scratches. So that's just a testament to the overall durability of the speaker. Now for reference, I have to say that in terms of height wise, this bad boy dropped from about 3 feet. So it fell off of my bed and it fell off of my nightstand, which is a little bit higher than my bed. And I have to say that's about 3 feet if I'm guesstimating. Okay, it's about 3 feet, probably no more than 5. And y'all can see it still looks pretty good. It slipped out of my hand a few times and it did drop out of my pocket. So, this speaker really did get some durability testing and it really did stand the test of time. Okay? Now, one thing I want to point out is you want to do your best not to drop this speaker as much because it is water resistant. So it has certain, what's the word that I'm looking for? It has certain things inside of it to make the components water resistant. And depending on how many times you drop it, you may weaken that water resistance. So you want to do your best not to beat up this speaker too much. But it can withstand a little bit of roughing up or some decent amount of roughing up because I don't take it easy on these things. So the overall durability on this speaker, again, gets top-notch marks. Moving on now, the next thing I want to talk about with you guys and gals, and this is probably one of the more important aspects when we talk about Bluetooth speakers, is the overall battery life and the overall charge times. Now, one thing I want to preface for you guys and gals before we start talking about my results is that everyone uses their devices differently, so your guys' results may vary. And also, during my testing period, I only tested the speaker at 50% volume and 75% volume. And the results that I'm getting ready to talk about reflect that. Now, I did find the overall runtime for the speaker as quoted by the manufacturer and online on Amazon. So this speaker is quoted to have an overall runtime of 16 hours. And I do believe that that runtime is estimated using 100% volume because with my particular testing, I got way better battery life than that. But then again, I did not max out the speaker for any prolonged period of time for extended testing. So my particular testing at 50% volume, I got anywhere from 24 to 32 hours on a single charge, okay? And that's with mixed usage. So I was streaming a lot of music, I was watching a lot of Netflix, watching a lot of Hulu, so on and so forth, taking a lot of phone calls. So when I talk about my battery life, I do it in regards to mixed usage. I don't break it down into audio only, phone call only. I don't do that. I combine everything all together and give y'all a combined time. That's how my testing works. So with my particular testing at 50% volume, it got 24 to 32 hours on a single charge, and I got that pretty much consistently. Now, at 75% volume, then I was getting pretty much 24 hours on a single charge consistently. So that's really, really good. And y'all already know why I think that's pretty good, is because I believe that Bluetooth products in general should get you an average overall battery life of 12 hours or better. So I'm very happy to report that this Bluetooth speaker smashes that minimum rating that I set for all these products, with its overall range being anywhere from 24 hours to 32 hours, depending on your usage and what you're doing, and the volume that you set. So you kind of really got to find a comfortable volume or a comfortable median volume between overall battery life and overall sound quality and volume. Alright, so that's just my particular testing when we talk about the battery life. Now, in regards to the overall charge times, the manufacturer quoted in the user manual that this speaker is supposed to take approximately 3 hours to reach a full charge. Now, I found that in my testing, this bad boy takes probably about 3.5 hours to reach a full charge, pretty much consistently, no matter how fast I got it on the charger. And one thing that I do want to point out is that when the battery is low, you will get a audible notification letting you know that the battery is low, nice little beep beep, and the volume of the speaker will downgrade. That's also an indication that the battery is low. Now you'll get one warning, and about a minute to a minute and a half later, the speaker will power itself off. So I do want to point that out, just so y'all know what you're getting into. Now that is a little bit of a negative, but it is what it is. So, that pretty much covers the overall charge times. So in my particular testing, again, I got about 3.5 hours consistently. Alright? Now, the next I want to do before we talk about the price of the speaker is I just want to sum up some of the positives and negatives so you guys know exactly what you're getting into, or you could just jump to this portion of the video and you'll get a nice rounded summary of everything that you need to know. So starting off with the positives here, because we got to cover the positives and the negatives. Starting off with the positives. Positive number one is the overall build quality and design is top notch. Okay? Positive number two is the speaker set that's incorporated in here. You get some nice quality mics. You get a dedicated aux jack, 3.5mm aux jack. You get a dedicated micro SD card, okay, which you can run independently without having anything else connected, so you can play music directly from your micro SD card. So really, really good stuff there. Okay. Other than that, you can also dual pair more than one of these speakers together to get some really good sound. Alright, so really, really good stuff in that regard. And you do have your IP45 dust proofing and water resistance. Alright, so that pretty much sums up all of the positives. And the overall battery life can also be considered a positive, and the overall price can also be considered a positive. But we're going to talk about the price in a little bit here. So that sums up all of the positives of this Bluetooth speaker. Okay? Next, let's go over some of the negatives. And really, there's only two. Okay? The charge times, I feel, can be a little bit better. Okay? Nowadays, if you pick up a decent Bluetooth pair of headphones, they charge up in about hour and a half, 2 hours, and you're getting an average of about 30 hours of mixed usage on those headphones. Now, that's in my last set of researching. I don't actually have any more Bluetooth headphones because I actually gave them away to friends and family. So I actually got to pick up some more to continue some Bluetooth testing for you guys and gals. But using that as a standard, okay, the charge times for Bluetooth speakers in general should fall somewhere in that standpoint. So it needed to really charge in about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So 3 hours to 3.5 hours is a little much. But if you think about that in perspective to how long the actual speaker is going to last on a single charge, that's not bad. But talking about it in regards to just charging aspects, it can be a lot better. So that's why I slotted the overall charge times into the negative category. Negative number 2 is the IP rating. The IP45 splash resistant and dust proofing rating is kind of low. Nowadays, when we pick up Bluetooth speakers, we're actually pretty rough on them, and they actually go through a lot, okay? We take them to the beach. Some instances, we take them into the shower with us. You know, we're doing all types of stuff with our Bluetooth products and accessories. So a better waterproofing rating, maybe IPX7 or better, so you get full submersion, would have been better on this speaker, okay? So the IP45 dust proofing and water resistance, we're gonna slot that into the negative category. And the last negative of the speaker, and probably the biggest one, is that you have to have power provided to the speaker in order to use some of its best features. So the 3.5 millimeter aux jack that's underneath this flap, you do need to provide power to the speaker in order to use that, okay? The micro SD card that is again under this flap, you do need to provide power in order to use that. Now, that's a downside because one of the main reasons why us as consumers, or myself in general, because this is all based on my opinion, one of the main reasons why I look for speakers with 3.5 millimeter aux jacks or micro SD card expansion is because I want to use those features when the speaker itself is dead. So it's kind of a bummer that I actually need to have power going to the speaker in order to use what I would consider to be two of the biggest features for the speaker itself. So I'm going to slot that into the negative category as well, needing to provide power in order to use two of the best features on this speaker. Okay, so that pretty much goes over the positives and the negatives. Now let's talk about the price. Now, I picked this up via Amazon, and I picked it up for a grand total of, I want to say, $27 after shipping and handling. Not shipping and handling, because I'm an Amazon Prime customer, I get free 2-day shipping. But after taxes, I want to say it was $27. Now, I'll have the actual retail price that I paid thrown up in post, so y'all can see exactly what I paid. But for $27, you guys and gals are probably wondering, can I recommend this speaker? And I would have to say yes. For everything that this speaker offers, I think it gives you a really nice price to performance balance. So yes, I can recommend that y'all pick up this speaker. You will not be disappointed. Okay? That being said, can I recommend this over something like the Almay Sport 2? I don't know. I kind of got to bring in another one and put them side by side and do a video on that separately and make that recommendation for you guys and gals. But that being said, if you're looking for a nice quality Bluetooth speaker and you're not trying to break the bank, and you come across this one and you're not really looking at anything else, then yes, I can recommend that y'all pick this up. You won't be disappointed. That being said, I hope everyone enjoyed this video, If you did enjoy this video, y'all know what to do. Please help your boy out and give the video a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, also feel free to hit the subscribe button down below and click off the notification bell icon right next to it so you guys and gals get notified when I publish new videos. That being said, if this video piqued your interest, down below in the video description should be a one-stop shop for you guys and gals, and you should be able to find this speaker at some really great prices. So down below in the video description, it's going to be like a one-stop shop, and you should be good to go. That being said, this whole portion of the video was recorded using the rear-facing primary camera on the LG V30 in 1080p in the 18:9 aspect ratio at 30 frames per second. And all the audio for this video was recorded using the Boya BY-MM01 microphone. So please let me know what you think of the overall video quality and the overall audio quality as well. And as I said earlier, or I don't know if I said it, please stay tuned to the end of the video because we will go through all of the demonstrations and tutorials as to how you connect up this speaker via the 3.5mm aux jack, how you play back music via the micro SD card, and how you manage music with a dedicated micro USB charging cable and a computer. So please stay tuned to the end of the video so y'all see those demonstrations and tutorials. That being said, as I said before, I hope everyone enjoys this video, and I will catch you guys and gals in the next one. Peace, everybody. All right. Now, I just wanted to run through a couple tutorials for you guys and gals. So this first tutorial I wanted to show y'all is how to wired connect the speaker to your smartphone with a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now, this couldn't be any more simpler and straightforward than what I'm about to show you guys, but I know some people have a hard time, so at least for me, I know a lot of things is easier for me to retain in video form with step-by-step instructions. So that's what I try to do for you guys and gals. So now let's go over the steps to get your devices wired, connected up to your MIFA A10 Bluetooth speaker here. Now, there is a downside to this speaker that I kind of don't like. Everything requires the speaker to be in the powered on stage. So step number one is you have to power on the speaker. So you're going to press and hold the power button here, and you're going to get some audible tones letting you know when the device is on. All right. Now let me just make sure the Bluetooth on my device is turned off. It is, as y'all can see there. And now let's go. So now it's powered on. Good. The next thing you want to do is take your aux jack cable and plug one end into the speaker itself. Now, one thing that I forgot to point out in the unboxing video is I forgot to showcase this here. So this is the side of the speaker that you have to open to access the micro SD card, the micro USB charging port, and the 3.5mm aux port. Alright? And the aux port also doubles as the speaker reset section. Now, they covered that in full detail in the user manual, so always feel free to read your user manuals. But you plug one end into the 3.5mm aux jack on the speaker, and now you get an audible tone letting you know that the wired connection is connected, and you can see the flashing white LED go solid. Alright? And then you just plug the other end into your device with a 3.5mm cable. So let's do that now. Got my A2 light here, and we're just going to plug this in. And there you have it. So everything is all connected up now, and you should be good to go. So, as I always say in my speaker reviews, if you're in areas where there's a lot of Bluetooth interference, but you still want to listen to your music, having a wired connection is really, really good for that. Now, the other thing that I'm going to demo in probably a different video, because I don't want to make this one too long, is how you set up the micro USB or the micro SD card slot to play music. Alright, so now I just wanted to demo just for comparison's sake, so y'all will have it all in one video, because I'm going to just clip this on to the end of the review video, how it sounds wired versus how it sounds with the Bluetooth. So y'all can go back to the review portion to the Bluetooth pairing and sound demo section, and you can hear how it sounds over Bluetooth. But this portion, I just want y'all to hear how it sounds wired. So let me just pull up some music here. Alright. Actually, I think I had some stuff pre-queued up here. Yes, I did. And now let's go ahead and let this play. Now this is copyright-free music, as y'all can see there. Alright. If you're a content creator, you want to always try and find copyright-free music that can also be used for monetization purposes. Okay? So as y'all can see there, now let's just go ahead and push play. Alright, and now let's max out the speaker. Good. And let's physically make sure it's at a good volume. That's good. And let's restart that. Okay, so that's that. Now, if you want to put it back into Bluetooth mode, all you have to do is disconnect. And as you can see, it automatically goes back into Bluetooth mode. Alright, so that does it for how you guys and gals would go about wired connecting up your devices to the MIFA A10 Bluetooth speaker. I'll be right back. Now we're going to demonstrate how you would use your SD card to play the music directly from it. Alright, now we're back with tutorial number 2, and now I just want to show y'all how to connect up a SD card to the MIFA A10 speaker and play music directly from it. Now, to load on music via SD card, the easiest way I found to do this is to just get an SD card reader, put your SD card into the SD card reader, and then put it onto the computer, drag and drop the music you want on the SD card onto the SD card via the computer, and then you're good to go. Now, the last part of this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to manage the music off of the MIFA A10 using the wired connection here, but this portion here is very easy and straightforward, and I figured we'd do this first. So what I went ahead and done here is I have a 128 gig micro SD card. Alright, now in the user manual it said you can't really go higher than 32 gigs, but I tested this 128 gig card and it works no problem. Now I've already went ahead and loaded up some copyright free music on here. So after you've done that first step with your SD card reader, you've loaded on the music you want, then you come to the main portion of the speaker here, and this is the SD card slot right here. You just want to slide the SD card in, make sure it's lined up properly. Alright, Now this only goes in one way, so you'll know if you mess it up. Alright, so once it's in, and it looks like I'm putting it in the wrong way, so let's flip it around. Alright, once it's in, you have to push it down till it clicks. And now it's ready to go. Alright, hold on. A little too quick there. Now, as you can see, it's automatic. With the speaker powered on, it's automatic. Now, if you want to jump between Bluetooth mode and the onboard SD card, again, this is the downside to the speaker. It has to be powered on for all of this to work. Alright, so let's say it was from the powered off state here. Okay, you plug in the micro SD card. Now you have to power the speaker on. Alright. Okay, now it's in Bluetooth pairing mode. Now, to get to the SD card mode, you have to tap the power button one more time, and then it's automatically going to play the music off of the SD card. So let me show you how that works. There you go. Now, if you want to skip, turn up the volume, turn down the volume, go to the next track, pause play, you do that via these controls right here. So pause play, long press the plus button for next track, long press the volume down button for previous track, and it also controls the volumes with a single press. If you want to turn up the volume, just single press the volume up button. If you want to turn down the volume, just single press the volume down button. So here we go. I'm going to let this music play a little bit, and then we're going to move on to the last part of the tutorial. So let me push play real quick. And let's restart the track. Okay. Actually, I think that's the last track there. There we go. Volume down, volume back up. Perfect. Pause. And now let's say you were done, or you want to go back to Bluetooth. You just tap the power button one more time. Back in Bluetooth mode. Just that simple. Alright? Alright, so this brings an end to tutorial number 2, how you would load on music to the SD card, insert the SD card into the MIFA A10 here, and then put the A10 into SD card mode. Alright, so now let's go ahead and jump over to my computer in the office, and I'm going to show y'all how you would manage the music directly off of the MIFA A10 with a wired micro SD connection, or micro USB connection, my mistake. So I'll be right back. Alright, how's everybody doing today? Back again with the final tutorial for the MIFA A10 Bluetooth speaker. Now this last tutorial, I want to go over how you could transfer files to and from the SD card on the speaker using a wired connection. So a couple prerequisites for this portion of the video: you will need a PC or a laptop or a Chromebook or something of that nature, and it will have to have a dedicated USB port, and you will need a micro USB cable, alright, that supports data transfer. Now, you can use the cables that came with the MIFA A10 speaker itself, or if you have your own different cables, as long as it has data transfer capabilities, you should be good to go. So as you can see, we're at my grandma's PC here, and I have my micro USB cable connected up here. Alright, and this is a data cable, so it supports charging and data. Then we have the MIFA A10 here, and I already opened up the slot. Now, what you want to do is there's a couple steps to this. You want to plug in the micro USB cable, and then it's going to start charging the speaker. Then you want to power on the speaker. Alright? After you do that, it's very plug and play-esque. So once you power on the speaker, it will automatically recognize that you have a data capable micro USB cable connected and launch you into the configuration process for connecting the speaker to your PC. Now, I've already went through the initial setup, so it's going to be really quick, but I'm still going to walk y'all through the steps. So, with one end of the USB cable connected up to your PC, the next thing you want to do is connect up the other end, the micro USB portion, to the speaker itself. So here we go. Alright, like so. Alright, and as y'all can see, it starts charging. The next thing you want to do is power on the speaker, and it's going to automatically recognize that it's connected to a PC and take you to the necessary part. So here you go. And there we have it. Alright, and as you can see, it automatically recognized that I connected it to a PC, and it launched me straight to the files on the SD card. Now, this is where if you want to transfer or delete files, you can do it just like that. Alright, so as y'all know, I'm a content creator, so I deal largely with copyright free music. So what I've done here is I loaded up all of the copyright free music that I like to use across my videos. Alright, then let's say I wanted to transfer some new videos in. So I do have backups of all of my SD cards here. So let's say I wanted to transfer some new music in, or I was perusing YouTube and I noticed that they added some new music. All I would have to do if I wanted to transfer it is come over here, select all the stuff I want to transfer. Alright, so just like that. Then, to make this real easy, and this is one of the reasons why I like Windows 10, because it supports dual window modes. So I'm just going to drag and drop, make two windows. Alright, then with the files that I want to transfer to the SD card selected, once again, I'm going to drag and drop, and we're just going to copy it from one part to the SD card, and this should take no time at all. Again, this right here is based on the speed of your PC and the speed at which it can go across the data cable you have connected. So as you can see, that took literally a matter of seconds, and now I have new music on the micro SD card. Now the same thing can be done in reverse. If I wanted to copy something from the SD card to the PC, you just do it in reverse. Or let's say I wanted to erase something, you can do that there. So again, with all of that stuff I just copied over selected, we just right click and we hit delete and we hit yes, and it's gone. So this was a real quick tutorial on how to connect up your MIFA A10 Bluetooth speaker to your PC or your laptop or your Chromebook and transfer files, delete files, add files, you name it. This is the steps on how to do that. So this pretty much brings an end to my coverage on the MIFA A10 Bluetooth speaker. Now, I know this video will be long, so everything will be time coded or stamped for your convenience. So feel free to jump around to the parts of the video that you guys and gals would like to know about. That being said, I hope everyone enjoys the video, and I will catch you guys and gals in the next one. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.
Perfect.